What's up everybody, Renfail here, and welcome to my ultimate beginner's guide to grouping in World of Warcraft. If you're a new player who's just getting into the dungeon aspect of the game, at level 15 and beyond, and the matchmaking system, and the looking for dungeon functionality, and the thought of grouping up with other players, and what's that going to look like, and oh my god, it seems so overwhelming. It's totally not, I promise you. It's like riding a bike. In the beginning, it seems intimidating. You put your training wheels on. Once you learn how to balance, you take the training wheels off. Now you're balancing, and then it's like, oh, well, I want to jump off that ramp. And then it's like, oh, well, I want a bigger ramp. And now it's like, I don't want to jump 3 Hot Wheels. I want to jump, 7 Hot Wheels and, a Tonka truck, And then it's like we're building bigger ramps. And that's the exact same progression that you're going to be following with dungeons and raiding in World of Warcraft. Whether you're a first-time player or someone who's coming into this game from another game, it's a very similar onboarding process. It's very gradual if you want it to be. It can seem a little overwhelming at first, but I promise you it's not. Let's dive into the basics here and get that out of the way. If you haven't already done so, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams here and on Twitch. You can come join us on the Moonguard server. We do LFR and normal raids on Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central. Mostly we just hang out and have fun, do lots of groups together. You can see all the streams and etc. here on the channel. The I button, literally an eyeball button, but also the I on your keypad, as in I as in instance. You're going to use that to open up this window right here, and you're going to get this dungeon finder. At the top, if you're someone who can have multiple specs, you're going to see them, these specializations listed here. Shield is tank, that cross sign is a healer, and this is a DPS. I'm a DPS paladin, so I would want to queue for a DPS role. Make sure you've selected the right role, and then here in the drop down you're going to see something. Now it's going to be different for every person because it's going to depend on your level, what expansion you're in, things of that nature. So I am still in Battle for Azeroth, which most new players will be because that's the default leveling experience as of this recording, which is like May 5th, 2024. The default leveling experience is Battle for Azeroth right now. So if you are new, you're going to see Battle for Azeroth listed here. If you're into Dragonflight, you'll see Dragonflight. And then once the War Within gets here, it's going to be the War Within. And the default leveling experience will change to Dragonflight when the War Within drops later this year. But for now, it's Battle for Azeroth. So you're going to use that from the drop down, and you're going to get randomly placed into a dungeon. You could do specific dungeons if you wanted to. These are the Battle for Azeroth dungeons. Some of these might not be available to you at the very beginning. You'll just have to wait and see. But most of these should be available to you at the very beginning. But we're going to do random, and then we're going to find group. Now, because this is an older expansion and it's the default leveling experience, more than likely you're going to be in a queue for 10-15 minutes, I would estimate. It might even tell us. It says average wait time 10 minutes. I've been in the queue for less than a minute. So what it's doing right now is it's matching us up with other players across various realms, and it's going to randomly bring us together and put us into a group. Now, most players have already run this content a lot of different times because we're at the tail end of the expansion. So if you're someone who's playing at the tail end of an expansion and this is your first time, you will be sort of running along to keep up, and that might seem overwhelming. Don't let it be, because I promise you, once you've run this 4 or 5 times, it won't feel that bad at all. And also, you can always just say something in chat and be like, hey guys, I'm new. Do we mind if we, where am I supposed to find this quest objective? I have never found a group, ever, never. I've never found a group to be unresponsive to simply saying something in chat. You may be like, hey guys, I'm a new player. There's even a button here, which I didn't click. This green flag that you can click before you join a queue, and it indicates that you are an experienced player and are comfortable instructing the group on how to overcome the encounters, which is a flag that not everyone uses, and I feel like more people should, but it's a nice indicator that someone is an approachable individual and they're willing to help you out when they're in a group. Once you're in the group, we'll talk about some of the mechanics and etiquette, but generally it's just going to be keeping up with everybody as much as you can. If you've never done a dungeon before, there is a really cool tool that a lot of people skip, which is the adventure guide. So you can click this button. It's Shift J is the keybind, but it brings up this cool tool where there's these tabs at the bottom. What you're looking for is dungeons, and you're going to use the drop down, and you're going to look at the ones for the expansion you're in. So we're in Battle for Azeroth. You can click on one of these dungeons, and it's going to give you another window which has the bosses of each one of these dungeons listed. It's the same for raids. And you're going to go into these and you're going to break it down, and it's going to show you an overview of the boss and his his abilities. And since I'm a damage dealer, it's automatically showing me the damage dealer tab. But I can also expand the healer tab and the tank tab to see what everybody's supposed to be doing during that fight if I wanted to. Or if I'm playing a tank, I might have a different strategy than I would have if I was playing as a damage dealer. So it's a little bit different for everybody. If you're going to queue for specific dungeons, this is a great tool to use to learn the mechanics. This is an in-game way of doing things as opposed to go watching someone do a guide. But as a general rule, there are some things you need to think about when you're doing a dungeon. You'll see those in action once we get into the dungeon here in a few minutes. One of which is that pretty much everything on the battlefield has a visual component to it. So conal abilities, where the boss does something that's in a cone outward from him, it's going to look a certain way. You're going to see something telegraphed onto the ground. Area of effect abilities usually have some sort of a radius around them. Certain abilities will pulse and glow, and those are things where someone needs to run in and soak the damage that's about to happen in that place. There are other mechanics at play where someone will put what's known as a heal soak on you, where you get this effect on you, and if a healer doesn't heal you enough to get rid of that effect, you'll have something detrimental happen to you. In raids, that might be a raid wipe, or an insta kill. But here in a dungeon, it's just going to mean like you're going to get a debuff or something. And sometimes mobs will have something that's what's known as a damage soak. And they will gain this protective ability or a protective shell over them, which you'll usually see represented by a shell. And it's something where you have to do enough damage to get rid of that shell, and before you can actually damage the mob. So I'm entering as a DPS. Someone else is going to be the tank, and I'm going to be going along. We're going to have a generic kill quest that everyone's going to get at the beginning of this instance. There may be quests in here. I don't necessarily recommend doing quests if it's your very first time, unless you want to, because again, people are going to run. You're going to notice what's going on right here. Like, they're just
Ladies, ensure all visitors are made comfortable.
charging along. It's all good. If you don't say anything, no one knows any better.
As you command, mistress.
We're just going to follow along these guys. If you have quests that are kill quests and things of that nature that you've picked up at the beginning of the dungeon, you're going to get credit for those as this goes along.
Watch your step.
So in this case, we're on a boss mob here, and like you'll notice like these effects going off.
Where you come from? Is it considered polite to murder?
All right, I was trying to keep up with this guy.
hostess's
I should be able to
servants?
talk a little bit better now.
On second thought, don't answer that. I can tell by your dull expressions.
I'm also listening to the voiceovers.
The world, the concept of a home not made of dung is like being new and exciting.
Alright, so you can see all these effects going off on the ground. These are the AoEs. You know, essentially you want to make sure you stay out of those. Those are bad. Stay out of those. This is going to be a boss mob they're going to trigger.
Seek your soul.
Ah, stupid stun. Alright, there we go. Ooh, I got some greaves. Alright, so we're moving along now. After this boss, group has found their groove, it feels like. A little chaotic at the beginning. I feel like we're finally establishing a little bit better of a balance. So when he comes in, you know, you're doing AoEs if you can. That music is amazing. Where you're just following along, doing damage. You're getting quest credit for kills and things of that nature. If you have quest items, make sure I know where to go here. You'll see things that you need to pick up.
Oh, such supple bones.
Now this one does have a mechanic. Someone is marking the one we need to kill first. It's the one, I can't remember the mechanic. It's like the one with the hat or something. Yeah, she's a move to move now. So essentially, one of these mobs is becoming immune in the middle of a fight because they're switching. And so you have to be able to switch with them and damage the correct ones while you're going. So now we switch. I'm talking so they're paying attention.
My roots will sprout again.
Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. And you'll see that same mechanic showing up on multiple mobs.
My entire household.
So lots of different mobs will have, oh, you need to kill these two at the same time, these three at the same time. You see that mechanic a lot on raids. But also in other dungeons too. Essentially your only job doing an LFR run is to keep up and do damage. Or LFD run, sorry. Stairs, stairs, and more stairs. Alright. This is going to be one where we get two different mobs, and essentially the big thing to remember is just stay out of the fire. Don't stand things that are glowing on the floor. If you see something like
Watch your
this
step.
around you, you need to move out of the way. So he just went immune. Okay, there we go.
We will never be parted.
Mortals, you lack foresight. Death cannot be stopped. By destroying Lady Waycraft, you have opened the doorway to your world. Now, your nightmare is just beginning. None will escape my vengeance!
Collapse.
Burn it!
Interrupt.
All right. Here we go. Pop my reactors.
Cannot hold me.
All right. So that's the end of a run.
Fools, you have merely defeated
You'll hear
a
whatever
vessel. I await
the
you
final
in
moments
the
are for the boss.
blighted
They'll finish that up. And you'll notice someone has already left the group. So once you're done
Gorak Tol has been banished.
and you want to
See?
leave,
There is
you
nothing
can right-click on your
a strong
name
arm
and
a
you can
sharp
leave the
steel
instance
can't
group.
fix.
I've also been queued for an additional dungeon automatically. So if I wanted to go do another one, I would just click the accept button. And you can go direct from there. But I could choose to decline here for the moment. And I'm going to get ahead and leave the instance group. So they have stuck around. They may go on to do dungeons together. I don't know if they will. But I've chosen to leave the group so that I can go back. And you'll notice that once you leave, it's going to put you back exactly where you were when you started off. So the cool thing about this is that no matter where you were, once you finish, you go back and you get to pick up where you left off. So it's a pretty cool feature because it's very quick and easy to join. These are meant to be quick little 15-minute things. They're not meant to be, 2-hour adventures. And that's, I think, the disconnect that I think some people have had. And it's one of the reasons I think follower dungeons were such a great addition, because it's a different tier. So here's the tip I would give you if you've gotten to the end of this and you still go, oh my god, that feels a little too sweaty for me. I don't want the social pressures of doing it for the first time in this space. That's what follower dungeons are designed for. And you could do follower dungeons as of this recording in Dragonflight. As of the War Within, when it launches this fall, Dragonflight becomes the default experience. So the trajectory is going to be slightly different, because right now you go from single player to some group content if you want, to Dragonflight where you have the option to do either. Whereas with War Within, it's going to be, if you're a new player coming in, and you're going to be going directly to the follower dungeon as soon as you've wrapped up the single player content. And then from follower dungeons, where you can have AI NPCs join you, you can then choose to do what I just did, which is the dungeon runs where you go and do it by yourself, or you go do it with other players. Sorry. So there's going to be multiple ways of doing things in the future. There are already multiple ways of doing things now. But if you're coming in and doing dungeons for the very first time, like I said, it is a learning experience, and players do go. But again, if you want them to slow down, just say something. And beyond that, once you get used to this, it's a really quick and easy way to gear up. It's a really quick and easy way to level up alt characters. It's a really quick and easy way to jump in and just do something fun. And there are various tiers of difficulty, because once you get higher level, and this is the thing to pay attention to beyond the beginner's guide that I'm doing here. Once you get higher up and you get on other characters, you'll be able to not only use the group fighter here, you'll be able to have access to more dungeons, and you'll more importantly be able to have access to the raid finder, which we talk about in a different video. So once you get higher level, that's when the fun begins, if you want to do end game content. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this beginner's guide to dungeoning and using the dungeon finder in World of Warcraft and retail. If you enjoyed, don't forget to follow along, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams here and on Twitch, Patreon, and Discord are down below. If you want to come join us on the Moonguard server, reach out. See you next time, everybody. Stay safe. Happy gaming.